welcome to the deep dive. Just take a second and think about your life. It's kind of this amazing unfolding adventure, right?
Totally unpredictable, full of unknowns.
Exactly. You can't possibly know every turn ahead. But what if, like, you had a guide, someone who's not only navigated their own journey, but actually wrote down the wisdom they gained?
A map, almost.
Yeah, a map. And that's what we're digging into today. Principles for Success by Ray Dalio. It's this really powerful guide for, well, for anyone trying to figure things out.
And our mission here really is to give you a shortcut, a way to get the essence of Dalio's thinking without reading, everything. We're pulling out the core principles. And these aren't just like philosophical ideas, they're practical. He calls them recipes for success.
Recipes you can actually try.
Right. You can look at them, see if they make sense for you, maybe apply them. And he even dedicated the work to his grandkids and all others who find it useful.
Which makes it feel really personal, like he's talking directly to you, the listener.
Exactly. It shows how universal he believes these ideas are.
Okay, so let's dive into the core idea. Dalio starts with something pretty fundamental.
Yeah.
Says, unless you want your life directed by others.
Which is a default for many people, consciously or not.
Right. He says you have to decide what to do, and this is key, have the courage to do it. It sounds simple, but
it's profound. Because letting others steer feels safer sometimes, doesn't it?
yeah, less responsibility maybe.
Okay.
But Dalio implies there's a cost if we don't take the wheel.
There's a huge cost. He uses this great analogy. Time is like a river. It's just constantly carrying us forward right into what he calls encounters with reality.
Encounters that force decisions.
Exactly. You can't stop the river. You can't avoid the encounters. They just keep coming. But what you can control, he argues, is how you approach them.
So the quality of your approach.
Determines the quality of your decisions. And ultimately, he says, the quality of your decision-making will determine the quality of your life.
Wow. And you make millions of decisions.
Yep. Millions. So letting others make them, even the small ones, means you're kind of giving away pieces of your life's direction, your own evolution, really.
Dalio is really open about his own failures, which I find pretty refreshing. He actually says, each time I crashed, I learned something, got better, and crashed less.
That candor is powerful.
It makes it relatable because we all hit problems, right?
Yeah.
And that initial feeling is often just pain, like you're completely stuck. What did he learn from those crashes that shifted things for him?
That's the pivot point. He started seeing that the pains were messages.
Not just bad luck.
No, they were signals, important ones, telling him, hey, you need to stop and reflect on reality here, figure out a better way.
So instead of complaining.
He started treating problems like puzzles, asking himself, okay, what should I do in this situation next time?
Turning setbacks into rules, into principles.
Precisely. And that whole process boiled down to a core insight. Knowing what is true is essential for making good decisions.
Knowing what's really true, not just what you wish was true.
Exactly. It's about confronting reality, even the uncomfortable bits, especially about yourself. It's the opposite of wishful thinking. It's what makes you a hyper-realist, as he calls it.
A hyper-realist.
Yeah.
Someone who works with what is.
Right. Because ignoring reality just leads to crashing again.
Okay, so you become a hyper-realist.
Yeah.
You see pain as puzzles, but how do you actually, move forward and build something?
Yeah.
Dalio offers this formula, right? Dreams plus reality plus determination, a successful life.
Yeah, it's like an equation for success.
But it's not just about having big dreams, is it? What if you have dreams and determination, but you ignore the reality part? Or you see reality clearly but lack the drive?
That's the key. It's the combination, the synergy.
Right.
If you've got dreams and determination but ignore reality, you're working hard but you're pushing against a brick wall maybe, your effort is wasted.
Building castles in the air?
Totally. And conversely, if you're super realistic, you see everything clearly, but you have no dreams or determination. You just observe. You don't act. You don't push through difficulty.
So you need all three.
Yes. The dreams give you direction. Reality grounds you, tells you what's true about the path and yourself. And determination fuels you to learn, adapt, and keep going, especially when reality is tough. They feed each other.
Okay, that makes sense. So having these principles, understanding reality, how do you put it all into practice? He found this 5-step process, didn't he?
He did. It's central to his whole philosophy.
And he claims that being successful is basically just a matter of following this 5-step process. It sounds almost too simple.
Well, simple to understand, maybe, but not easy to do consistently. But yeah, he sees it as the engine for growth. Following these steps over and over creates this upward spiral of improvements.
Personal evolution, he calls it.
Exactly. It's a blueprint.
Yeah.
Step 1. Goals. You need clear, ambitious goals, things that pull you forward.
Okay, gotta know where you're going.
Right. Then step 2. You will encounter problems, obstacles, things blocking those goals. The key is identify them and don't ignore them or work around them. Face them.
Don't tolerate them.
Right. Step 3 is diagnosis. This is crucial. You have to dig deep. Understand the root causes of the problems. And often, he says, those roots are in your own weaknesses or maybe someone else's.
Ouch. That requires honesty.
A lot of it. Self-reflection, willingness to maybe change yourself. Then, step 4, design. Based on the diagnosis, you create a concrete plan to get around that obstacle.
A practical plan.
Yes. And finally, step 5, DOIT. Execute the plan. Push yourself. Take action. That's where the change actually happens.
And what's really interesting is he says this isn't just like his personal self-help trick. He sees it everywhere.
Yeah, he says it's just a law of nature.
In products improving, organizations adapting.
Exactly. In people evolving. His point is stark. Evolution is simply a process of either adapting or dying. Adapt through this process, or you stagnate and fail.
It's like a natural debugging process.
Kinda, yeah. But as you use this process, as you climb higher, as the heights get greater, the falls get greater too.
Meaning the stakes get higher.
Definitely. And he's very blunt. Terrible things happen to all of us. It's inevitable. The real question is how we handle them. Do they ruin us? Or they can profoundly improve us?
And it all comes down to facing that failure objectively, making the right calls.
Which is incredibly hard when you're in the middle of it.
He gives that intense example from his own life, right? The big failure in 1981.
Oh, yeah. That was a huge one.
He bet everything on a U.S. depression happening, which was a really out there view at the time.
Super controversial. And completely wrong, as it turned out.
And the consequences were brutal. Wiped out his company, basically. Had to borrow money, like $4,000 from his dad just to pay bills.
Reduced Bridgewater, his company, to just him, one employee. Imagine that.
It's hard to. So in that moment, like a rock bottom,
Yeah.
what shift happened in his head? How did he pull out of that nosedive?
It forced a massive shift. Away from ego towards humility and reflection. You realize when something like that hits you, freaking out doesn't help.
Easier said than done.
Oh, for sure. But he concluded, you have to calm yourself down and reflect in order to find the best path forward. And then, crucially, embrace your reality and deal with it well.
Embrace the suck, basically.
Kind of. But also understand it. That pain pushed him to think really deeply about how things work. Not just markets, but everything.
This is where the everything is a machine idea comes in.
Exactly. He started seeing patterns, the Big Bang, galaxies, ecosystems, our own bodies, our minds. They all operate like interconnected machines evolving over time.
Even like a morning routine is a machine.
Yeah. Or project or relationship, inputs, processes, outputs. And if one part breaks, it affects the whole thing. Thinking this way gave him a practical framework.
To debug life.
Sort of. To see cause and effect, to identify levers he could pull instead of just reacting emotionally, it helped him anticipate better. He also saw how people get stuck in recent history.
Forgetting that things that haven't happened in a while can happen again.
Right. Cycles repeat. Challenges come back around. Being aware of that bigger picture, that machine-like reality, is key.
That's a really interesting lens. It makes you think differently about risk, too. He talks about that choice, doesn't he?
Yeah, the trade-off. You can aim for a safe, ordinary life, or you can venture into this dangerous jungle where the big rewards are.
He doesn't say which is right for anyone.
No, that's your call. But he wants you to think about it. If you do choose the jungle, how do you navigate it? What's your strategy?
And to navigate that jungle successfully, he says there are two huge roadblocks we all face.
The biggest ones. Ego and blind spot barriers.
Okay, let's break those down. The ego barrier. That's needing to be right, to look good.
Yeah. It stops us from seeing our own mistakes, from admitting we don't know something, from asking for help, makes us defensive.
And the blind spot barrier.
That's simpler, in a way. It's just what we literally cannot see because our perspective is limited.
Yeah.
Everyone sees things differently. Relying only on your own view means you're missing huge chunks of reality.
Threats and opportunities.
Exactly. So the solution, you have to seek out others, especially people who see things differently than you do. That's how you see much more.
He has an amazing analogy for it. Going from seeing only through your own eyes to seeing through the eyes of these thoughtful people.
Yeah, it's powerful.
He said it was like going from seeing things in black and white to seeing them in color. The world lit up.
What a description.
It makes total sense. Get more perspective, see more clearly. But actually doing that, especially when your ego flares up, that's the hard part, isn't it? What's the biggest hurdle?
It is the ego barrier, usually. That deep need to appear competent, to not look weak. It makes us shut down opposing views or avoid asking dumb questions.
And so how do you overcome that defensiveness?
Dalio pushes for things like radical transparency, creating environments what he calls idea meritocracies, where the best idea wins no matter who it came from.
Not based on hierarchy or who shouts loudest.
Right. It requires real humility, a genuine belief that someone else might have a better answer or see a flaw you missed. You have to actively invite, challenge, stress test your own thinking.
Instead of just looking for people who agree with you.
Exactly. That's how you get the full color picture.
So putting it all together, Dalio is pretty clear. If you're striving for and doing big things, you are bound to lead you to painful falls. It's part of the deal.
They're inevitable, but he reframes them. They're tests. Tests of your principles, your resilience.
And then he drops this really profound insight about what success actually is.
Yeah, this is maybe the biggest takeaway for me. He discovers that success is not a matter of achieving one's goals.
Wait, what? Isn't that the whole point?
That's what we think. But he says, no, the things we strive for are just the bait.
The bait.
Yeah. The real reward, the thing that actually matters, is the struggle to get them with people we care about, because that struggle gives us the personal evolution and the meaningful relationships. That's the prize.
Wow. So the journey, the growth, the connections, that's the success, not just ticking off the goal.
Exactly. It ties back to the everything is a machine idea. We're evolving machines. The goals are just the catalyst for our evolution and connection. It's a beautiful shift in perspective.
It really is. And his hope for you listening isn't that you just adopt his principles wholesale.
No, not at all. His hope is that you'll assess them for yourself and discover the ones that work best for you.
Test them out.
Yeah. Ask, are they useful to me? And then evolve them and have them evolve with you. Make them your own living guide.
That's empowering.
So just to recap this deep dive, we looked at Dalio's core ideas, choosing to direct your life, learning from pain like it's a puzzle. We went through his 5-step process for that upward spiral of evolution. And we talked about facing reality, the machine-like nature of things, and overcoming those ego and blind spot barriers by tapping into collective intelligence.
It's a rich framework. His final message is really a call to action. Find your principles, decide your path, and find the courage to walk it. So given all that we've unpacked today, here's something to think about. What principle will you start writing down, testing, and evolving to guide your own unique adventurous journey?